Sure, you've been here so long.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know what that does for your rating, but my family appreciates the longevity. I know that.
Coach Mike Houston, obviously something's been bringing you back, but we'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. How excited are you that we are, because you've been tested 1,000 times already for COVID-19, how excited are you that you're going to get a chance to play a football game?
Well, we got tested again this morning, and we'll get tested again Wednesday, and we'll get tested again Friday, and it'll be that way for for the whole season. And but it's exciting. I think everybody knows in their own personal way how this pandemic has affected them personally, and obviously people's employment and such. But when you're dealing with a bunch of 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old kids that are anxious to play football, it's been a long time since we've snapped a football, and so we're looking forward to putting all the 50-something days of practice to good use.
Man, I tell you, it seems like it's been forever, and then you have a game scheduled for August 29th, and then it gets moved to September 12th, and now you're starting on the 26th of September. But finally, we do have a football game coming up. When you look at all the stuff you guys have been through, what's been the hardest part of going through fall camp and the uncertainties and all the what's been the hardest part?
Brian, I think probably the hardest part has just been, kids are used to, well, we're all used to a certain schedule that, you report to camp and in 4 weeks you play. And this has been so open and closed, open and shut, back and forth, that it's been like a never-ending practice. And, as much as those coaches like to practice, those kids, that's not their favorite deal. They want to play games. And, so I think it's just a monotony of, okay, you got to get them juiced up to practice, but they look at the horizon and they don't see a game for 4 or 5 weeks. And that's been the challenge as a coaching staff that we've had to accept, and the kids have had to accept, that you're getting ready, but you're not sure what you're getting ready for or when it's going to happen.
Has it been difficult to keep everybody motivated and fired up? Because, as you said, practice after practice after practice, but just the mental side of all of that.
Well, that's our job, and that's our job to keep it fresh and to keep it lively and so forth. And Coach Houston's done a good job of factoring in, when we need to back off a little bit and when we needed to go, when we needed to. And there was also a period of time there we were shut down for a little over a week, and so and that didn't make anybody happy. But you look back on it, or at least we thought at the time, that it probably came at a good time. Kind of split up the 8-week preparation and kind of give the kids a chance to get away from football for a few days, and so in hindsight we were really kind of fortunate that timing occurred.
As a coach, how hard was it to shut it down like that? Because one day you've got all these practices scheduled, you've got meetings scheduled for the next day, and then you get the word that, hey, we've got to stop for a while.
No, you know how coaches are.
Yeah,
we want to practice every day. So it was a little bit of a yo-yo effect for us too. But it became clear. It became clear during the summer. When we started to prepare, we did. Everybody from their kitchen table. We game planned the first really 3-4 games, and we had Zoom meetings and prepared as if we were playing that week, and already in place. Back in back in May and June. So it's been a little bit of a yo-yo, but we're just excited about it, just as the kids are.
Before this pandemic hit, did you ever know what Zoom was?
No. Well, no, I didn't. And if we had said let's use it, the same thing would have happened. I'd have to get one of these interns or young coaches to come set it up for me.
Yeah, I think Zoom is one of the offensive calls for a wide receiver or something, isn't it? Don't you have a Zoom? Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. We need to make sure we got some Zoom in our game this week.
Got to get the Zoom fired up. Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach at East Carolina, joining us on this Monday to help us kick off game week. Exciting week in Greenville and East Carolina. The disappointing thing, I guess, is that the fans won't be allowed to be at the game, although the parents of the players will be allowed in, and that was a big plus for you guys, wasn't it, Coach?
There's no doubt. I mean, all of us that are parents watching our youngins play since they were able to play. You know, these college kids, their parents are the same way. You know, they travel over the country watching their child play, and just to be, you know, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but just, you know, for arbitrary numbers set,
Yeah.
you know, that all of a sudden a mom and dad can't come see their kid play. You know, that was a little bit of a, you know, that was a little unnerving. But fortunately, the powers that be saw that would be safe and that would be okay. And I think that means a lot to the players on both sides.
And I agree with you. I don't like getting into the politics either. But when you look at it, at some point, common sense has to come into play. And if the health experts are telling everybody, okay, you have to wear a mask, you have to stay 6 feet apart, but you still have to live life. And so, you know, these parents should be allowed to see their kids play. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, it's really, again, like I said, we're fortunate that they're going to be able to do that. That really put a lot of juice into the guys the other day when that was announced.
I think one of the other keys is going to be how the kids react to what's going to go on game day, because, you know, a lot of your recruits came to East Carolina because of the way game days, you know, are handled at Dowdy Ficklin, and all the fans and the tailgating and the march before the game and all of that. And you know, because of COVID-19, a lot of that's taken away from us this year. But how they handle, you know, not having a big crowd and you know, some of the sights and sounds on game day, that's going to be a key, isn't it?
Well, I agree with you. You know, obviously Dowdy Ficklin is one of the best environments on the East Coast, and you know, that's something that you know, that we'll all miss. But the reality of it is, you know, once that ball snapped, you know, you're focused on other things than crowd noise, and these is, again, I go back to what I said. It's been a long time since these guys have competed against anybody other than their own teammates, and they didn't have spring football, and they didn't have summer workouts. And all the things that have led up to this, trust me, they'll be excited to play.
Yeah, I'm excited to think about the chance that they get a chance to play. The game will be televised on ESPN Plus, so you have to have a subscription to ESPN Plus to see the game, which is a little unfortunate, but still, it's accessible. You can get a hold of it. You can watch the game, and of course, Pirate Radio will have complete coverage 4 hours before the game, and then after the game. So it should be a lot of fun. It's not the same type of game day that we're used to, but it is a game day. Steve Shankweiler, the East Carolina offensive line coach, nice enough to join us today to talk Pirate football. Let's go to your offensive line a little bit, Coach Shank, and let's lay it out for us as far as a depth chart is concerned. As you're looking here right now, first of all, are there any battles right now as far as starting positions go?
Yeah, and I think it's you know, we're somewhat of a victim of what we've been talking about. You know, there was a period of time during the you know, to me it's all time now. I don't know what month it was, but there was a period of time where we actually had certain positions where every kid at that position was in quarantine. You know, that we had our left tackle position, for example, literally every kid that had practiced at some point at left tackle was not there for about 10 days. And so that forces you, you know, to move kids around, and you have to really be creative, because you still have to practice. I mean, the rest of the team's got to practice. And so what we did, we created a lot of opportunities for kids to compete that you would not know their names. And what it proves is that practice means something. These kids, you know, whether they're non-scholarship players or freshmen or redshirt freshmen that are not household names, you know, they're in there with the first group, and they're having to compete at a level that's expected of the first group. And so, you know, not that those guys will play on Saturday, but we've created depth, which helps our scout team against the defense now. We've created depth because you have to you have to reconcile yourself to the fact that there's going to be more of this as the season goes. Yeah. And so, you know, you've got to have guys that have practiced that maybe in the past they would not have gotten any reps. You know, maybe guys that, like I said, nobody's heard of, that all of a sudden are going to be thrown in on game day. And so it's a very, you know, one of the words that everybody uses right now is fluid, but that's a good description of it. It's very, you know, it's a very changeable depth chart, more so than normal. So to answer your question, yeah, right now, I would say that right now there's probably one guy, maybe two guys that I can tell you for sure will start on Saturday, and but that's good. It keeps the competition level up because they've all gotten reps. They've all proven that they bring worth to the program, and they'll all, we're using it to keep the kids competing all the time, and for kids to play multiple positions. We've got one guy that's probably going to have to play 3 different positions, which is unheard of in the offensive line.
Wow!
But because of these shutdowns and so forth, it's been a little bit of a blessing in disguise that we prepare this way.
Do you hold your breath every time everybody's tested to make sure all your guys get through?
No, they tell you don't hold your breath when you're being tested. It depends on which lady you get. Some of them stick that thing in there and they leave it for 33 seconds. I mean, you better have a strong breath with that thing up your nose. Yeah, but Brian, I mean, you just don't know. I mean, we've done a great job, early on. Then we had some blips in the middle, and now we're back to where I think there's just one guy that's positive, and so everybody's practicing. And you do hold your breath, but it's gotten to the point now we're testing so much, heck, you can't hold your breath because it's almost every day, and so it's just a matter. It's just the world we live in, and we just got to be prepared as coaches, and from, like I mentioned, the depth chart standpoint, we've got to be prepared because they're not going to call the game off. We got to go play, and so you keep your fingers crossed for sure.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe I should have rephrased that. Do you hold your breath to get the results? Because when that lady's because that Q-tip is about 6 foot long, isn't it?
Oh yeah. and like I said, some of them want to hold it in there a little bit longer than the others. It's almost like something I told one nurse over a couple weeks ago. I said, "Gosh, dog, do you not like football players?" Because boy, she took forever to get whatever she was trying to get out of there.
Yeah, so, she was searching for something that wasn't there, wasn't she?
I guess.
Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach, joining us on our show today. We'll take a commercial break. We'll come back with more with Coach Shank. I know Coach Shank says he's got a lot of stuff going on, so we have to let him go early in just a few minutes. But we'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back, more with Coach Shank, more to get you started for game week. Game week's finally here. Back with more after this.
It's bow time.
Years from now, you'll tell your grandkids, back in my day, we could get 2 Bojangles sausage biscuits for just $2.50. And those biscuits, shoot, they were always made from scratch. And that zesty sausage, sizzling like the summer of 2033. Then your grandkids will say, wow, 2020 sounds amazing. And you'll say, not really. But those biscuits were. Get 2 sausage biscuits for just $2.50.
It's bow time.
Can't make it to the game? Relax. Bostic Sugg Furniture can provide you with the best seats in the house. We have the area's largest selection of Lazy Boy motion furniture in stock and ready to go. Lazy Boy recliners, reclining sofas, love seats, and reclining sectionals in hundreds of colors, styles, fabrics, and leather, all at a very comfortable price. Remember, when it comes to Lazy Boy motion furniture, we're your ticket to the best seats in the house. Bostic Sugg Furniture in Greenville.
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Welcome to Jack Brown's. What can I get for you?
You guys got chicken strips?
Nah, we don't have those.
Can I get a salad?
No, we don't carry salads, ma'am.
Well, what do you have?
We are glad you asked. This ain't no regular degular. This is American Wagyu beef.
These ain't your Uncle Timmy's charcoal bricks.
Kiss the cook, kiss my grits. Our burgers are 4 ounces of hand-pressed, made-to-order, perfectly seasoned ecstasy in a potato roll.
4 ounces not big enough for you, big man? Double patty time!
Or just grab a cheeseburger.
Jack Brown's, 805 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
Pirate Radio.
Give us a chance. We're going to be different. We're going to play with a lot of fire and intensity, and we're not going to back down from anybody.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday. Glad to have you, Steve Shankweiler. Our good friend. Coach, I got a compliment for you, too. I was reading your bio, and at the end of it, it says you're 68, and you look a lot younger than I do. I'm 58. So give me your secret on that deal.
Oh, come on, man. I ain't letting that out, man. I mean, marry young, stay young.
There you go. Well, I did the second part. Well, the first part. The first part. How's Court, by the way?
Patriot League, so they're not playing. They're going to play in the spring. So he's practicing coaching right now.
Wow, I tell you, it's just all over. Do you talk to some of your friends in the profession to see how they're handling things and kind of compare notes?
Yeah, off and on during the summer. Not so much lately, but during the summer, and everybody's kind of got a different take on it, and and a different obviously not every school is uniform in how they go about handling the protocols, but I think everybody's kind of eventually gotten in the same direction, and everybody kind of has the same frustrations, and right now everybody's just chomping at the bit to go play, and some of the guys have already got a chance to play one game, a couple of them 2 games, but everybody's got the same anxieties and the same fears and the same excitement all at the same time.
All right, let's go through your depth chart. I think Coach Houston's going to release it tomorrow, I think. But give us what you can. Start at the center position and tell us what's going on there.
Well, we obviously the guys that have played center for really the last 2 years here, the last year and the year before we got here, all those guys are all gone. Okay. Now, Peyton Winstead has had a series of health issues, injury issues that have just kept him out of being able to compete. So during the off season, what we did was we took Fernando Fry, who ended up starting most of the season at left guard, and we taught him to play center. And he's doing a really solid job in learning the position. He brings a little bit more size. Strength maybe than what we've had. He's certainly a tough. He's a tough physical kid, and he's able to do some things blocking wise that we struggled with last year at times. So I feel good about him. Of course, it'll be his first game, live, and we're opening up with these folks, and so it'll be, But he played against them last year's guard, and so I've got a lot of confidence in him, and he's going to be backed up by Trent Holler, who played only a handful of snaps last year as a true freshman. We redshirted him, and so he's a redshirt freshman, so he'll be seeing his first real action.
All right, take us down the offensive line. Let's go to the right side first, right guard.
Well, that's one of those positions we talked about. That we got constant competition there, and right now we've got we really Sean Bailey started at right guard a year ago. And so he's obviously in the mix, and we're working him at both guards, pardon me, both left and right. Justin Chase, transfer from NC State, has gotten a lot of first team reps at right guard, and Nishad Strother, who really just came out of quarantine about a week ago. He's getting a lot of reps at right guard. So, one of those three guys, and then on the left side, we've got, like I said, Sean Bailey's working over there, and then Avery Jones, who was a transfer from Chapel Hill. He's gotten a lot of reps at the left guard position. He's managed to get through all these months of practice without really, I don't think he's missed a day. So we've been able to kind of get him up to speed. He and Justin both are big, good-looking kids, but neither of them have played. And so, we're trying to bring them along. And so it's kind of a committee approach right now with those guys at the guard position.
All right, take us to your tackles.
Well, it's kind of the same way there.
Okay.
Deontay Smith has missed roughly 4 weeks, and obviously he's our returning left tackle.
Yeah.
And arguably our best offensive lineman. So he's missed a lot of work. So his weight is down, but his mentality and his effort level, that never changes. And so he'll be the left tackle, and he'll play as long as we can play him. And Nishad Strother again is a guy that when all of our left tackles were out, he went from guard over to left tackle and really did a nice job during camp. So, he can swing both at guard and at tackle. Walt Stribling is a true freshman. He's got an awful lot of upside. I don't think he's quite ready to go play against, the people we play against yet, but I think by midseason, he's got a chance to really be a really good player. And on the right side, right now, Bayley Malovic, who we redshirted a year ago, he played in 4 games, and he'll be the starter at right tackle. He came in here with us a year ago as a junior college kid, and tall, rangy guy, not very big in terms of weight, but very athletic, very tall, can really, really run. And our 2 tackles between Deontay and Bayley, they run extremely well, and that's one of the things that we felt like we had to fix when we came here recruiting-wise. And then Justin Chase, again, who was a right guard, has played a lot of right tackle during the month of August. And then Hampton Ergel, who's a non-scholarship guy that's kind of fought his way up, again, because he got tons of reps when other people were out. He will probably, I doubt if he'll be in the playing time mix, but he's a guy that I think, much like Walt, that by the time mid-season rolls around, they've gotten a ton of reps because of this COVID thing. Probably, we're just looking forward to getting a chance to go out and play somebody as good as Central Florida.
The frustrating part to me is with the contact tracing and trying to figure out, who did this, who you were around. They get shut down. I mean, that's got to be the biggest headache in the history of anything, trying to figure out who's where and why they have to sit out, how many days they have to sit out. I mean, is it like instead of an injury report, did you get a COVID report every day on your desk?
Yeah, it's a totally separate report.
Yeah.
And, but, I'll give you an example. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about health issues, but I'll just say this. We had 2 starters that we project as starters that missed multiple weeks, okay? And they've never been sick.
Yeah.
And so, it's just the way it is. And, trying to stop the spread, this is what you have to do, and everybody else is playing by the same rules.
Right.
So we got to do a great job of keeping the kids kind of in the best kind of bubble we can.
I think you like having all these Baileys out there so you can yell Bailey all the time.
Well, I yell Bailey and they all turn around and look at me.
I bet. When I'm out there, I
tell you what.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though. When I yell Bailey, I often think of you because you know what? These guys are a whole lot better than you probably were.
They probably are. I'm quite sure they have a little bit of talent. That's for sure, compared to me. But I can remember my coach yelling Bailey. Every time he yelled Bailey, I paid attention. That's for sure. Shankweiler, Coach Shankweiler joining us today here on the Brian Bailey Show. When you look at UCF on defense, what do you see and what kind of things will we see on Saturday?
Well, they're the same as they've been since I guess it's been 6 years now, 5 years, whatever. since they had such an awful year, and they turned it around the next year and went like 6-4, 6-5, whatever it was. I don't remember, but ever since then they are just so dynamic athletically, and except for one or two guys up front, they're all back, and they all played, and you can't tell the difference between any of them. Oftentimes so athletic, especially the linebackers, all down. We've got every game they played, but we took 4 games from last year and the Georgia Tech game this year, and the most similar offenses, and kind of use that in the computer breakdown. And we had more explosive runs against them than any of those other 4 teams. And those teams were like Cincinnati, Georgia Tech, and a couple others that are really good. And yet you see an explosive run, and you think, gosh, this is going to go all the way. And then boom, 15 yards later they're on the ground. And it's just that they recover so quick. And, they get out of position sometimes, but they're just so athletic, they make up for it. And that's what, we're going to have to be patient, and we're going to have to go right at them and understand that, they're going to make some plays, but we're going to make some plays too. And you just got to kind of stay the course and weather that early storm that they tend to bring, just because they're so fast. And once you get used to it, game speed-wise, then we'll have it like last year. All of a sudden it was a game.
Yeah,
and I think that's where their strength is that they're, as a whole football team, they're so much faster than a lot of people they play, that they get up early on you. The statistics of their first quarter scores versus their third and fourth quarter scores there's a significant difference. But you got to kind of, like I said, you got to weather the storm, and you got to play to their level speed wise, and then make them play to your level. And as long as we stay, true to, being tough and being physical and being fundamental, then we're really looking forward to playing.
How much of a key is it for you guys to control the football and keep it out of UCF's hands in this game?
Yeah, well, that goes without saying, and that would be true in every game. And but that's a team thing. The defense has got to get off the field. They got to force a turnover. We can't turn it over on offense. We got to keep the ball. I don't think you necessarily try to slow down. I think you play your game.
Yeah.
And I think our game is we're going to go at you. We're going to run it downhill at you. And the games that we really did pretty well offensively last year, that was our success. We were able to run the ball at you, and then we got some receivers and a quarterback that made some plays in the open field. And, they play a lot of man coverage. So, we're going to have chances. We're going to have chances if you break the line of scrimmage like last year. I think we had 8 runs over, 15 yards, So, then obviously we had some big plays in the passing game. And, they live and die by man coverage. If they cover you, they got you, But if you can beat your guy, or if you can get in the open field, there may not be anybody there. So, we're going to play aggressive, but we're going to get after it. Hopefully not have too many first game mistakes, and, put the cars down, let's go.
How much do you see them blitzing on Saturday?
Oh, they'll blitz a bunch.
Yeah.
That's their MO. Yeah. They're fast. They play man. They're going to load the box. There's always going to be 6. And then if you bring in a tight end, there's going to be 7. There's always going to be 7 guys in the box. And they're going to force you to throw it. And then they're going to rush 5, 6, pretty consistently. And so we're going to have to play assignment sound, and then you got to say, okay, if they're bringing 6 and we got 6 blockers, you got to go 6 for 6, which is not easy.
Yeah.
But that's what you got to do. That's the name of the game. Everybody's got to win their individual battle.
All these years on the offensive side of the football, and in 2017 you were in Raleigh at NC State as a defensive.
I wish I'd been able to do it, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I career, but I was kind of between jobs, and Coach Doran called me and asked me if I would do that for him, and I said, shoot, yeah, and so I give them a kind of a perspective. Okay, this is how an offensive coach looks at it, and I think I think I really did help them, and we were really good. I mean, we had 4 NFL players up front, and we were really good on offense and scored a lot of points. So it was a neat deal for me, but it was good to kind of sit back in like a laboratory and study and help prepare the scout team to give the right kind of look. The way sometimes you look at film, you just draw a card, you run a play, and it may be that your defense, they may not run that play against your defense. And so as an offensive coach, you can kind of give them a perspective of what to expect. How will they attack us, not just a computer menu of plays. Okay, what are the things that team will do to us? And so it was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
How excited were you when you got the call from Coach Houston to go to JMU?
Well, I was really excited.
Yeah.
Donnie Kirkpatrick and I go back a long way, and obviously the program there is what it is, and his reputation is obviously outstanding. And then Harrisonburg is just an awesome place to live. I spent 2 years having to care for her parents, so we were kind of separated for 2 years where, I was in Miami, she was in Georgia, and then I was in Raleigh, she was in Georgia, and then, kind of the timing of all that just happened right. And with her folks going into assisted living, and so it was really, really neat. It was one of the group of kids I got to coach there, we had really good players.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We had really good players. But that group of kids I coached there, they were football playing fools now. They loved the game. And I really enjoyed coaching those kids.
And then, of course, you find out Coach
decided that one day and said, what do you think? I said, shoot, there ain't no thinking about it. You're going, man. Pack up. Go get it.
Yeah.
But not Patty and I to be able to do this really anywhere, but to do that and work with some great guys along the way, and fortunately, some people thought enough of us to bring us with them, and I'm ready.
You got to pay Tom McClellan. I have never read it before until last.
All 3 of our kids grew up here and graduated from the same high school, and it's really
the coaches you worked for at East Carolina, starting with Coach Lewis.
Of course, the first one I worked for was Art Baker.
Yeah.
And, they were common in all of them. That's why they were all successful. But they each had their own individual personality. And they each, someone asked me this question one time, that, if you could take one thing from each of them, what would you take?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Art Baker, would be, a couple things, probably, a rather unfortunate time in terms of scheduling and finances, about, sustaining, the focus and all that. He was just awesome about that. And then Bill Lewis, he was, Bill and Mike Houston are similar in a lot of ways. Of course, they're both defensive guys.
Yeah.
But they have both of them have a kind of gritty persona. Very organized, very, by the book approach, and that's back then. That's what we needed, and I think it's obvious that was what was needed when he came here, when Mike came here, and so they're very similar in that respect. Steve Logan was an offensive guy and just a very unique personality, but his perspective on the X's and O's, on both sides of the ball, but obviously especially on offense, he brought a level of sophistication that we probably hadn't had here before, and a deep love and commitment to this place. And then Skip was just, kind of the consummate of a bunch of different things. He just is. Mike has really focused on that vision, and going through this pandemic has really brought out the best of that strength that he has. He has not wavered a bit. and we have stayed the course. And hopefully, we're an awfully young team. I think it's 54 guys on this roster that weren't here a year ago.
Wow.
And,
it was nuts how organized he was, and you can see in some of the square jaw type thing with Coach Lewis and Coach Houston. I mean, just stern, but good guys that want the best for their kids. And I see, I agree with you. The similarities right there. All right, Coach, I told you. Go ahead.
Well, they're both so similar, and they're both, have enjoyed a lot of success, and it's great to work for guys like that because you know that they got your back, and the kids know that he has their back, and so it's a positive deal.
Steve Shankweiler joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Coach, for joining us this afternoon, and we certainly appreciate your time as you get ready for game week. Get on back to the film room and get ready for practice this week, and we certainly appreciate you being on with us.
Thanks, Brian. All right, go Pirates.
There you go. Steve Shankweiler, the Cowboy comeback that Clip Brock was so happy about. We're going to have that. He's staring me down. Back with more on the show after this. I didn't think you were going to cry.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports. North of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville, your home for Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Suzuki motorcycles. Clemson remains number 1 this week in the AP poll. Alabama number 2. Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma Sooners are number 3. North Carolina is number 11. Then 3 AAC teams. UCF is number 13. Cincinnati 14th. Memphis is number 17. Marshall cracks the top 25 this week at number 25. It's finally game week for the Pirates. ECU opens the season 28 days after the scheduled start on August 29th this Saturday. UCF will be in town for 12. Coverage will begin with the Bud Light pregame show at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates. Got big dreams for your small business? You're not alone. The Gavigan Agency Insurance Services is a growing business too. That's why they work with Nationwide, the #1 small total business insurer in the U.S. Nationwide can help protect and grow your business so you can focus on making your small business dreams come true. Give the Gavigan Agency Insurance Services a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
At US Cellular, we speak fair. When we say you don't have to pay activation fees, we mean it. Plus, right now when you switch, you also get $700 toward the latest phones. Yep, we mean that too. Upgrade to fair with US Cellular. Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line port and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. Call Toby today at 252-799.
Medicare, you are turning 65, new to Medicare, or already have a plan, I can help you compare your Medicare options. I can help you find a plan offering low to no monthly premiums, prescription drug coverage, and a wide range of additional benefits like dental, hearing, vision, and more. Call me today at 434-531-5674 to get a no-cost, no-obligation Medicare benefits review.
This is Coach Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach for East Carolina University. You're listening to The Brian Bayley Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show. Coach Shankweiler had to get back to the film room, so we let him go a little bit early. But we're joined by Brian Meadorf over at East Carolina, who's a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, and we get to talk with Clip Brock about that big win.
Can I say something,
You
Bayley?
can say whatever you want.
I know
it's your show.
You think I'm dumb.
No.
But I'm very observant. I notice things. I noticed that last week you had a guest for the entire hour. Didn't save any time to talk NFL. This week you got a whole segment.
No, this is on the hall, and I said, "Hey, Shank, I heard you raised. Yep, somebody's a Bayley cut me."
There you go.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's good. No, I'd love to have Coach Shank back, but he asked if he could go early because he's got some stuff going on. So we most certainly wanted to.
So you reached out to a Cowboys
let him go.
fan.
So we reached out to a Cowboy fan just to talk about the onside. First of all, have you ever seen an onside kick like that ever?
No, never. If you'd asked me if there was a rule you had to use a tee in some form or fashion, I said, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, I know you can drop kick them, or punt them off on the safeties. But when he put the ball down, I said, "Somebody give him a tee." The Falcons were thinking, and the only thing I could think of the two things: one, they didn't know the rule, which I doubt. Two, they were mesmerized by it. Or three, they didn't want to touch it because it was so weird, and they thought it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It was almost like everybody standing around in slow motion, looking at it like it was a bomb that was getting ready to go off.
Touching it. Somebody's got to jump on it. I ain't doing it.
But I
grenade. That's right.
I told Clip this earlier. The whole first half, I was saying you got to fire Jason Garrett. I mean, this has just gone on too long. I mean,
a lot of those the Cowboy cardboard cutouts they did have got up and left. So
yeah, I bet
the fans who were made behind were pretty solid Cowboy fans.
But it was most certainly, in the NFL, they have a game like that almost every weekend. It seems like there's some great comeback or some weird play or something that keeps the fans coming back. But for that game to unfold like that, then as a Cowboy fan like you are, and watching it and examining it and that kind of thing. But Coach McCarthy's coming up with some of these analytics that just aren't working. He faked two. How many times you see a game where they fake 2 punts and they don't get either one of them?
The thing, and we talked about the first one, and it could have been executed. The throw was a little short, but a wide receiver runs back and gets that ball. He just kind of his legs gave out from under him, and he fell down, and it hit him in the hands anyway. But still, the where you are, and you have no faith in your defense. What analytics are we talking about?
Yeah.
Because all I heard about was Moneyball and Brad Pitt and that stupid movie and Billy Beane and all that nonsense. Well, how many World Series have they won?
Yeah.
That analytics only get you so far. You gotta have a feel for the game, and going for a fake punt at that point was not the right move, especially after how sloppy you were playing in the early parts of that thing with the turnovers and falling behind like that. But I mean, trailing by that many points, giving up 39. I mean, first of all, the Falcons are the historic fumblers of all time. 39 points, no turnovers, and they are the only team in NFL history to score at least 39 with no turnovers and actually lose the game. 440 times that's happened before, and all of them are winners. They are the first losers. How about that?
That's unbelievable. That really is. And I wanted to ask Coach Houston today, because I don't know if Pirate fans know this, but Coach Houston's a big Cowboy fan as well. And I just wanted to ask him, if you're down 15 and you score a touchdown, what analytics says go for 2 then? Because I don't buy it. I think you have to go.
I'll tell you this. I'm with you, but I know the argument for that is that, well, we know we need a touchdown and a field goal. So later on, the Cowboys knew they had to do just that because they didn't get it. So they had to. You might when you get the ball back, I see the other argument. I don't. I kick it. I make it a 1-score game and let the game play out the way it would. That's how I would do it. I'm with you on that, but I get what they're saying.
Well, if they're saying that, and you've got plenty of time to know where you stand, but if you don't have time, really they didn't have time to score a touchdown and kick a field goal. No, they got lucky as all with
it was a complete fluke.
Yeah,
complete fluke.
Complete fluke, and really for the Cowboys, it was important because they play at Seattle next week, and Russell Wilson's been crazy, so the chances of going up there and winning that game aren't very good. And then you come back down and you play all the great teams, and then would move up a little bit more than that with that impressive win on the road. CBS Sports in their power rankings has UCF at number 10, up 4 notches in that ranking, but they're 13th by the Associated Press. This is a tremendous challenge for this East Carolina team, isn't it?
It is. And when was the last time you saw 2 high impact lefty quarterbacks go at it? So
yeah,
it'll be fun to watch. But I don't know. I know it's 23 the point spread, which is big. And you and I were talking about that number. I thought it would be about that. And then you were right. Had Georgia Tech given them a better game, it'd probably been a little bit lower, more to what you guys thought. But I mean, it's a huge task for this defense, and we really don't know what we're going to see. I mean, it's a first-year defensive coordinator. I mean, the way that they flipped this squad in a year is crazy. I mean, there's 54 new kids. I'm telling you. Okay, I mean, that when Mike said that the other day, I really hadn't thought about it. I mean, I know the Igos and Cliff Brocks of the world already knew that, but I didn't even think about that. You're right. There are 54 new guys out of 101, man. Because this is one of the best teams we're going to see this year, probably the best team we'll see this year.
Yeah, as you said, two lefties. Holton Ahlers, of course, the former DH Comedy star, the quarterback for East Carolina, his first start for 2020, and Dylan Gabriel goes for UCF, and he threw for a career-best 417 yards and 4 touchdowns against Georgia Tech, and he really, I mean, he put on a
What was the final score of that game? And I had Malovic there. You don't know what you're going to get. I mean, where are we with as far as endurance? You know, are our kids going to be, you know, I mean, maybe we do. I know that was a big area that, you know, Coach Hughes was worried about with us missing times because you're having to quarantine and all these things, and we're not having that game we wanted to have to be lining up like a pinball machine.
And, you know, the other thing you don't know what you're going to see is when this testing goes on this week. I mean, somewhere around the country, right?
Well, it certainly is. And you're going to see impact players, too. It's
yeah.
It's going to be, and then you don't have enough time to really do contact tracing. So what do you do? I mean, first of all, contact tracing is real easy. I just practiced with the entire football team yesterday, so all those guys were around me, and I tested positive. So then what? You know, who quarantines then? You know, the coaching staff. I mean, it's to me, it opens up a whole Pandora's box of direction that you could go and make an argument that, you know, a bunch of guys should miss if one guy tests positive. You know, so I don't know. I know this. They're testing 3 times a week, and I don't want to be part of that. That because you know. Sticking that swab up and rubbing your brain essentially once a week is bad enough. Now it's 3 times, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wow. That's a lot of testing.
Yeah.
A lot of testing.
It is that. So.
All right, let's take a final commercial break here on our show. Then we'll come back, we'll wrap things up, and get you set for the rest of game week.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now with 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has 0 sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft, Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bayley Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. We're Greenville Auto World, across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs, 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
This is former ECU football player Bryce Williams, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bayley Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show as we wrap things up on this Monday and get you closer and closer to game day. Noon kickoff, ESPN Plus, Dowdy Ficklin Stadium coming up on Saturday. Brian Meador is on the line with us, talk a little Cowboy football. What are you looking for as far as the Pirate game goes on Saturday?
No, points. I said it earlier. The scoreboard being lit up, assuming that, we can keep up with them, and it's not like I'm saying they're going to come in here and hang 50 on us, but I do expect it to be a fast pace early on, and then hopefully they'll settle in a little bit. I'm talking about East Carolina's defense to just get a few stops, get them off the field, and let's see what this talented bunch we have receiving balls can do. Let's see them get out there and get open, and I'm this running back. I want to see these guys at game speed. We have some good talent back there. There are things that I want to see that I've seen the scrimmages, and the scrimmages tell you something, but then they tell you nothing, as you and I have talked about over the season. Yeah. The offense looked really great, and then we think, well, that means the defense looked really bad. You kind of want to see more of a balance, but that last scrimmage was pretty much defense, but Holton only played a few snaps, or not a few snaps, a few drives. I'm really curious to see how I guess everybody's on the same page. Are they gelling? Are they vibing? Have they had enough time? Without having a game under their belts. I mean, we should be
Things about this whole pandemic for me personally is riding around in August around the stadium because there's such a hustle and bustle usually there, and the students come back to and everything over there, and that's a good thing.
Oh, that's the sound the way they get off his field. Like their carts are coming and going, and concessions and things like it's a really weird. It's been a weird few months, that's for sure. As the understatement of the 2020 year continues saying that.
Yeah, it has been. It has been something for sure. All right, we're going to close it out right now. I want to thank Brian Meador for joining us in that last segment from our show. Also, want to thank East Carolina and UCF. The Knights come to town and company. I'll be in the 9 o'clock hour. Looking forward to that. That's our show. We'll see you back here next week on the Brian Bayley Show.
Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bayley Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM.